Hi, this is Miss Goodell. Today I am going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. If you recall, whenever I am adding or subtracting fractions, the first thing I have to do is to make sure that the denominators are the same. If they are not, I have to change them so that the denominator is the same before I can do anything with them. The first thing that I would do was look at the denominators of the original fractions. Then I have to think of a common multiple. This is where, if you know how to find the least common multiple, that can come in handy. You can use the least common multiple, or you can just find a multiple that they have in common. I know that 4 and 5 both go into 20. That's also the least common multiple. So I'm going to try to make 20 the bottom number of both of them. So in order to make 3/4 into something over 20, I have to use equivalent fractions. And if you recall from past learning about equivalent fractions, you have to do the same thing to the top and the bottom. So to get from 4 to 20, you multiply it times 5. If I multiply my 4 times 5, I also have to multiply my top number, which is 3 times 5, and that makes this number 15 over 20. Now for my 3/5, I also want to make that something over 20, and 5 times 4 will get me to 20. That means if I multiply my 5 times my 4, then I also have to multiply the 3 times the 4. 3 times 4 is 12. That makes that 12/20. And I'm just going to rewrite the problem with the new values substituted. So I have 15/20 instead of 3/4, and instead of 3/5, I have 12/20. And then we just add straight across like we normally would. 15 plus 12 is 27. We don't add the 20s. Remember, when we add or subtract fractions, the bottom number stays the same. So my 20 is going to stay the same. 27/20 is my answer, but I know I could make it into a mixed number because I know 27 is bigger than 20. There's a couple of ways that I can do that. I'm not going to get into the ways, but I know that 20 over 20 is 1 whole. So I know 27 is 1 whole with 7 left over, and then the 20 is going to stay the same. I'm going to make a video on how to change this from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So stay tuned for that. But just for shortcut's sake, know that this is how we could do it one way. Another example, we could do 8/10, take away 2/3. 10 and 3, the number that they have in common is 30. So 8/10 I'm going to make into something over 30. I take 10 times 3, and I take 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24, and 10 times 3 is 30. So this is equivalent to 24/30. 2/3, I want to take 3 times 10 to get 30. So I take 2 times 10. And 2 times 10 is 20. And the next step that I would do is substitute those values, 24/30 instead of 8/10. And then I subtract. and 20/30ths instead of 2/3. Remember, the bottom number stays the same, so 30 would stay the same. 24 take away 20 is 4, and I can reduce 4 and 30 can both be divided by 2, which equals 2/15. That's just a quick run through of how to add or subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Remember, you just change them to a common denominator, common bottom number, using equivalent fractions, which we have gone over, and then add or subtract by substituting the values. Like I said, stay tuned for more on how to change improper fractions to mixed numbers. Otherwise, I hope you liked the video and ask questions if you are still confused. Thank you.